Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Hold up. Let me make sure I got everything straight. Because we got a lot to talk about. We got almost too much to talk about. Actually, what's crazy is I was about to do those videos, or I was going to do videos on what I'm talking about during this live stream. Didn't have time to. Was doing something else. But look, even more time for us to get into it with more detail. I can answer questions as well, so it's all good. Oh yeah, hold up, make sure I got everything straight. What's good, Vegeta? What's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? What up, bunch? No, that's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. That's an extremely bad idea, my brother. Won't bluff you. Won't bluff. But today, just so y'all know, we're talking about the salary cap, the numbers you might be hearing, and why, even though you hear a number like the number of the amount of money we have in salary cap right now, it might not be. You can't just spend all of that money on a free agent or on a player you trade for. So you might be thinking, okay, we have a certain amount of money in the salary cap, so that means we can spend all but $5 million of that on a new player to come in here. That's not exactly how the money works. I'm waiting a couple minutes though. I'm gonna wait like a minute or two for people to get in here, and we will talk about it. Why? Because Trey Lance at best, you're at best is a long shot bet. That's gonna take more than 1 year to get fixed. Look, Trey Lance. First of all, what I've noticed is a lot of fans in general have been okay with 1 year wonders. I mean, at this point, I think that all you have to do as a college quarterback, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the game. If you've had bad years, then you have one really really good year, you're a top five prospect as a quarterback. And if you have one good year, and then you sit out an entire year, you're still a top five quarterback prospect. And it's gotten really interesting to me that a lot of fans are okay with picking up players that are projects. Trey Lance has he has all the physical attributes you want, but at best he is a project that's going to take you at least 2 years, maybe a year and a half. He's not one of these dudes you sit down for a year and you're good. Trey Lance is going to be a dude you have to fix issues with for a couple of years. Also, you only have 1 year of tape on him. Also, that year of tape was 2 years ago. So what you're doing with Trey Lance is he has a very high ceiling, which everyone that's where everyone stops. It's like Trey Lance has a very high ceiling. Trey Lance also has an extremely low floor. Trey Lance, of all the quarterbacks, of all the top, let's call it top six, top seven quarterbacks. What's going on outside? Of the top six quarterbacks, Trey Lance has the highest bust potential. Mac Jones can be an average quarterback. Mac Jones can be like a Matt Stafford or maybe even, a Dak Prescott, where it's like, okay, you're never gonna be winning an MVP, but you could be a solid quarterback in the right system with a good defense. You could win. Trey Lance can actually bust because he has so much to work on. He has so much to work with. Not to work with. He has so many things he has to improve on. Yes, the raw ability is there, but it's a bet you're making. You have to make a bet. Yeah, it's going to be at least 2 years, and you have to hope that the 2 years he's with you, those first 2 years, he actually becomes a starter level quarterback. So I mean, look, I get why people want to go with Trey Lance, and I get why people are. I mean, I understand it, right? I understand it. You see the highlights, and you're like, oh yeah, looking at these highlights, Trey Lance is probably the best quarterback in the draft. But when you actually watch his film and you see what's going on, he's definitely a project. And of the 5 years you have him, because it's gonna be if he's a first round pick. It's 4 years and a 5th-year option. You have him for 5 years on that rookie deal. Although the 5th-year option is kind of higher. I'm pretty sure the 5th-year option is gonna be a lot higher. But you have him on that rookie deal. Half the deal is him not playing on the field and you hoping he becomes the Trey Lance that you thought you were going to get. Aren't all college quarterbacks projects, though? No, not at all. Just because you need to improve something doesn't make you a project. A project quarterback and a quarterback that's not perfect are two different things. Two completely different things. Yeah, completely different things. Second for Donald? No. What up, 704? What up, Baltimore? What's good? What up, Willie? Chances of getting Deshaun Watson? Probably low, honestly. Probably low. This is a good draft. I think this is a really deep draft for a lot of spots we need. I feel like we could really do some good work. And here's the other thing too. I feel like a lot of people feel like if you don't have a quarterback, like we have Teddy Bridgewater right now, right? I feel like everyone thinks that it's impossible to get a quarterback in 2022. Like, this is the only time. This is the only chance. This is the only year, the only draft that the Carolina Panthers have to draft a quarterback, right? Am I right about that? For y'all who want Trey Lance, y'all believe this is the only chance the Panthers have at getting a quarterback, right? And then I know the question next going to be. The question going to be, okay, so if we don't get a quarterback this year, then who do we get next year? For all y'all who love Trey Lance, all y'all who like Joe Burrow, all y'all who like a lot of these other dudes, we like one-year wonders, don't we? Hey, we like one-year wonders, don't we? We all like one-year wonders. I promise you someone's going to look good next year. And I promise you, this team ain't winning that many games next year. So we're going to be in the hunt for one of the top 3 quarterbacks in next year's draft as well. I am very, very confident about that. You feel me? So if you love Trey Lance, then you have to agree with me when I say that anyone could pop off next year in college. So I can give you answers. I could tell you names of players. But let's be real about it. If we're just talking about one-year wonders and how much we love one-year wonders, then we can yap about that. We can talk about how there could be a player next year who we haven't heard of, play one good year, and then he comes through. He's a good draft pick for us, right? Right? Zack Wilson's best quarterback. I've been hearing that a lot more. Our O-line's not built for Mac Jones. Yeah, you'd have to do a lot of good drafting. You have to draft the O-line this year and let Mac Jones sit. But Mac Jones wouldn't even play his first year either. But yeah, I've seen Zack Wilson's stock like skyrocket, and that's less because of Zack Wilson, I think, and more because Justin Fields he was up and down. He was up, and then he was down, and then he was up again. People said, "Oh yeah," everyone who said he was down, everyone said he wasn't good, everyone said who had their doubts about him, they was wrong. They don't know football, and then he went down again in the national championship game, and then huge doubts surrounded him. Huge doubts. We know there was injuries. We know there's other problems there as well, but there was some huge doubts about Justin Fields. So I think that if Justin Fields would have played well, if he would have had a really, really good game against Bama, then we probably wouldn't be seeing. Then Zack Wilson would be number 3, I think. I think Justin Fields, if he played really good against Bama, he would have been number 2 on the list, and Zack Wilson would have been good though. I mean, look, this is the thing about Zack Wilson. I don't mind Zack Wilson. I don't hate Zack Wilson. The thing about Zack Wilson is he played nobody. He went to BYU, played no schools, and the one school he played that was actually decent in Coastal, which was a good school. I mean, it was alright, but he didn't perform at the same level against Coastal as he did against those bigger name schools. And then earlier on, I think it was out of high school or his freshman year at college, he had 2 different shoulder surgeries. So like those things are things I noticed, right? Like, yes, he looks good. All year he looked good. Let's be real, Zack Wilson looked good. But I'm looking at the strength of schedule. I'm looking at his injury history. I'm looking at all this other stuff. And when he actually played against someone with a rush, because he's gonna be for right now, our O-line ain't looking right. We need someone who can at least at least maneuver. You gotta maneuver. You gotta get out of the way because it's gonna be dudes in your face. And you know how this the conference in general, the conference in general, and the division in general has a lot of really strong pass rushers. You feel me? What up, Aaron? What's going on? You know, every single time I get on stream and talk about something, it always ends up being about something else. But we will talk about this the salary cap and Matt Rhule's presser. I want to talk about Thomas Davis and Greg Olson's their retirement and their speeches and whatnot. I actually have it queued up right now. So if we get to that, we can actually rewatch that and go over that ourselves if y'all really want to. Joe Burrow wasn't even the best QB in his class. He was thought to be, though. That's the thing. Joe Burrow was the consensus thought. We're talking about right now. I mean, we're talking about the quarterbacks in the draft right now, right? So we're not saying that we already know what's going on, right? We know what's going on with Joe Burrow and everyone else. We've seen them play in the NFL, but no one doubted that Joe Burrow was the number one quarterback in that draft class. No one was saying that Joe Burrow wasn't number one. So yeah, we can talk about what the best choice is a year later, looking back, but let's not pretend that even you thought that Joe Burrow wasn't the number one quarterback in his draft before he got drafted. What up, Diva? What's going on, Diva? Monty, what's good with you? Feel about Kyle Pitts? Not a good move for me. Not a good move. Think about this. Where do you rank tight end on this team's list of needs? 1? 2? 5? Let's work on those things in the top 5 first before we look at a tight end. And also, tight end is a spot where there's a lot of free agents, right? I think if you're going to spend this free agency money, which we'll get into in a second, tight end is a spot to do it. Tight ends don't get paid much anyway. There's a lot of good quality tight ends who are going to be getting mediocre to middling type of money, those kind of team-friendly deals in this kind of lower cap year. And they're only going to want 1-year deals. I think you can easily get a free agent on a rental deal, and you can plug them in for this year, so you don't have to go ahead and either draft or I guess trade for one. So I think you're straight with a free agent. Trey Lance is our only option. Well, too bad there's no such thing as a 2022 draft. That'd be crazy, right? Hey, imagine if we had drafts. Imagine that, I know it's crazy, right? But the NFL did cancel all NFL drafts after this year. No more quarterbacks. No more college football. No more quarterbacks. Trey Lance is the last quarterback that this team could possibly ever draft. You heard it here first. My man Eternal Rage let me know Trey Lance is our only option ever for the future of our team. So it is what it is. What up, Rels? What's good with you? But yeah, someone mentioned Rashawn Slater. That's my pick. Honestly, Slater's my pick. I like Slater a lot. I don't mind a corner, honestly. I don't mind corners, but there are some corners that are going to be in the second and third round that I like too. I like a couple corners in the second and third round. There's a few actually. There's a few. I mean, even deeper in the rounds, I like some of the corners. Like dudes like dudes like second and third round. Hold up. What is dude's name? Bro, I'm actually blanking on this. Now I gotta look it up. That's tough. Oh wait, I'm looking at safeties. Actually, I've been more on safeties. I've been more on safeties. I'm thinking about Javon Holland, but I was thinking more about free safeties who can play in the slot. Like Javon Holland's a dude who's a free safety but can come down and play in the slot. But yeah, but the thing is, I would rather go for even linebackers and safeties over corners, because something I also noticed is that we all talk about how we need a tight end, but watching the games on defense, there's literally nobody on the team who can defend tight ends. Look, we all love Jeremy Chin. We know what Jeremy Chin does, right? We know what Jeremy Chin does play after play. Probably the most consistent player on the defense, second best player on the defense. I still think that Brian Burns is the best player on the defense. But let's be honest, Jeremy Chinn cannot bang with them tight ends. Not in our division. Jeremy Chinn is not ready to play against these big body tight ends. We saw it. We saw what was going on there. We have nobody on the roster who can cover a tight end. And it's been like that for a minute now. Outside of Luke, I mean, we haven't had dudes who could really bang with them tight ends in a minute. So I'm looking at some of these safeties who can come down in the box. Yeah, Sante Jr. Isn't he like a third round pick? Or late second, honestly. Lots of O-line for agency and draft, yes. It's pretty deep. It's a pretty deep draft for a lot of spots. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get to this salary cap talk. Let me move this around. Boom. Hold up. Boom. Hold up. Boom. All right, cool. So, what you need to see isn't on the left side. These are the names and whatnot. I'll move the stuff so you can see it. But for the most part, what you're really looking at is on the right. This stuff right here. I'll even zoom in on it so y'all can read it all the way. So what you can see here, Richie Grant is good. Yeah, I like Richie Grant, but I'd probably go Holland. I'd probably go Holland over Grant, honestly. But either way, I mean, either one of those dudes, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about either one, but I would probably go Holland over Richie Grant. But you can see right now what's going on. So first of all, you have to know that the salary cap for this year is going to be $182 million. It's 182.5, but that's what it's going to be. $182 million. I think what it was supposed to be without COVID was 210. So a $30 million drop in salary cap for 2021 is pretty huge, especially if you're like a team. When you think about salary cap, you're not just thinking about this single year. You're thinking about years to come and think about how it's always going to go up and whatnot, but it actually went down. So, this year, the salary cap going down can throw a wrench in a team's plans and in their long-term plans. There's always like at least a 5-year plan with teams and salary caps. For fans, we don't really care about the long-term salary cap numbers. As long as we can see this year and maybe next year, we're cool with it. Wait, how's he a fake fan by saying you don't need a quarterback this year? I think he's right. What do you mean? I think he's right. I mean, we drafted a quarterback this year. He's not playing regardless. I think you can build a team. I think you can definitely build a team that can support a quarterback first, get one next year, and you'll be 100% straight. I don't think you have to be a fake fan to disagree with what the popular opinion is. Anyway, though, so there's So you know that there was the tweet from Ian saying teams are now being informed the cap is $182 million, 182.5. You'll see this number on your screen. It says adjusted salary cap. Now, why does it say 186.5? That is $4 million more than what Ian said about the salary cap. That's because of a thing called rollover. So basically what's going on here is, you can read it yourself. I'll read it to you actually. The final element of determining salary cap or cap space comes in the form of adjustments. The biggest of these is the salary cap rollover. This rollover allows teams to bring their unused cap from the previous season into the current season, right? So the Panthers were able to bring in how much cap space? It was 182.5. We have a 186.5 adjusted salary cap. I did not tell you this before, but this is a pop quiz. There is going to be math in this stream. How much did the Panthers have in adjusted salary cap from 2020 that rolled over to 2021? Let them know. Anyone? From 182 to 186.5? Anyone? Okay then. It's $4 million. It's $4 million. So we had $4 million in rollover cap from last year. So we get $4 million more dollars than the 182 cap. So we have a little bit more wiggle room. I think if you look at around the league, cap tracker. Just imagine that. Imagine there being a cap tracker. Hey, some people need a Some people need a cap tracker. They do be capping. I ain't gonna hold you. They do be capping. But look, we're number 11. I mean, around the league, we're only like, look, $100,000 less than the Broncos. We're basically top 10, right? We're basically top 10 in most money, in most cap space that you can work with. There's a lot of teams that are messed up. I mean, look, the Saints are down 30 million, down 30 million. This is why you can't always restructure people's deals, because you have to kick that money down to the future, and that means that you find yourself in a spot like the Rams and the Saints. No, it's not about winning with the. Yeah, you're right, Steve. It's not about winning with a bad quarterback. It's about understanding you can still build a team, get a quarterback in the next year. Like, I'm not saying we're gonna win. If you think we're gonna be going on a deep playoff run because we draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft, I might have to break it to you real rough, okay? If we draft a quarterback this year, you do not want him to play a single down. I promise you that. I promise you that. Yeah, so the cap tracker, you can see that we're top 10-ish. I mean, we're $100,000 off, less than that, honestly. It's $596 versus $660. So like $70,000 off of being top 10 in total cap space for this upcoming season. So the $186 million in cap space, we have about $31 million in total cap. Now, you see the estimated cap space says it says $32 million. That's because when we adjusted, when we reconstructed, we restructured Shaq Thompson and Chris McCaffrey's deals, it freed up more space than is actually allowed under the rule, because you can't just free up a ton of space. You can't just use all that to just restructure everybody's deal and free up all that money. So you can see the 7.35 and then 5.68 would be somewhere around like $12.9 million, right? Maybe even 13. But we were only allowed 11.75 of that. We were only actually allowed 11.75 of that cap space. So that's why the estimated top 51 cap space is different from the estimated cap space for all players. This is a lot of math. Okay, I understand. But that's how I'm talking about this stuff because it gets real confusing. Talking about cap space and cap room, you see, look at all these numbers. You have the salary cap, the adjusted cap, you have the active contracts, then there's rollover, then there's dead space, and it's like it's real hard to look at. It's like, what is the number and what does it mean? But then it's not just about this $31 million. Okay, we have $31 million, right? That means, what if we were to sign a player or trade for a player who's going to be getting $25 million this year? I mean, 25 is less than 31. So that means that we can pay this dude $25 million this year and still be under the cap, right? We can still be under the cap paying a dude $25 million this year, and maybe we can backload the contract. Well, he's $25 million this year. Maybe he's a quarterback, and he wants to get paid, $38, $40 million a year. It's like, okay, 25 this year, it's backloaded, and in the next few years, it's $38 million. We have more cap space in the future, and we can spend that money the way we want to. That's not how it works, because we have 31 right now. If you spend $25 million on a dude's contract, how are you going to pay the rookies you sign when you draft them? Rookies they're getting paid rookie deals. They're not a lot of money, but they still do cost money. It's like $8 to $10 million to sign the guys you draft. So you have to have at least $8 to $10 million knocked off this from the jump. And then it's like just real life. You gotta have some savings, right? What if something happens? What if dudes get hurt in the off season? What if dudes go to training camp and get hurt? What if dudes get hurt week 1? You have to go out and find dudes in free agency. What if dudes get hurt in preseason games? You have to go out and sign more players. So you have to have like $5-7 million backed up as well. So we don't exactly have a ton of space. We have some of the top 10 money in the league right now, but when you think about how the cap space works, and what you have to do with that cap space, not just for right now at this very second, but in the very near future, like from April when the draft happens to August, right before the season starts. It's gonna be you gotta work that money out a little bit differently. About our comp picks, 2/6. I mean, it's a decent draft. Maybe you can get something for 2/6, or you can use those to trade back up or something. But it's 2/6. Not a lot to talk about. This is a pretty deep draft where you can definitely find some value. You can definitely find some good value. But yeah, Monte Coxey, he's kind of hell. But I'm not gonna pretend I'm excited about 2/6. Now, signing Teddy Bridgewater did prevent us from getting probably a third for James Bradbury. Stephen Weatherly, depending on what he's going to be making, I guess that may have gotten us away from maybe a fourth or a fifth comp pick. But, I mean, it is what it is, honestly. 2/6 is cool. It's more, but I'm not going to do a backflip over 2 6-round picks. Who had a bigger impact, Jake Delhomme or Cam? Where's Cam's Bojangles commercial? All right, then. But yeah, so you already see we have about $31 million, but it's really more like 14, 15 when you think about the kind of savings you got to have, that insurance fund you got to have going through the season, and then signing your rookies. But I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't cut more people. Like I said in a different video, I like Justin Burris. Justin Burris is my dude, but y'all can't see it. Hold up. I like Justin Burris. He's my dude, but look, the post June 1st pick or cut, we can get $3.8 million from cutting Justin Burris, and I liked him. I thought he played really well as a starter. After not really playing that much in his previous years, not really getting a chance, I thought Justin Burris played really good. I thought Sam Franklin played really good. I'd rather have Justin Burris than Sam Franklin, I think. But Justin Burris has a $4.8 million cap hit $4.8 million salary and a $1 million dead cap hit. You save $3.8 million getting rid of a strong safety. And you still have Sam Franklin on the back end. You still have Jeremy Chin. You can maybe move him to strong safety, get an outside linebacker, someone who's a little bit of a bigger body dude, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a taller dude who can actually cover tight ends. We know Jeremy Chin can do a lot of things, but I don't think he covers tight ends very well. What up, Tyree? What was Burris' stats last year? Probably not impressive, but he was solid. The eye test was pretty solid. 53 tackles, 4 passes defended, 1 pick, playing in 13 games. I call him solid. I wouldn't call him a GOAT, but I call him solid for sure. Why get rid of Teddy? I wouldn't cut him. I wouldn't cut Teddy. Depends what you're trading him for, what you get. Trades back late rounds. I'd rather trade back early. Let me show y'all. I'm going to start doing my mock drafts. I won't do that. I won't show y'all now. I won't show y'all. But I did a mock draft where I traded down. I got a bunch of real quality players. I won't lie to you. I be real with you. I wouldn't mind trading down in the first. There's some really good players in the back half of the first round and the early part of the second round. I really wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really wouldn't be that upset about picking up who's like Elijah Vera Tucker and Alex Leatherwood. And going that route, picking up 2 O linemen and then a safety in between. That could be hell in a cell. I won't lie to you. So we do have some money, right? We do have some money, but it's not like we have a ton of money. That's why in my top five free agent video, I wasn't putting like Levante David up there. I wasn't putting dudes like, I guess, Richard Sherman, but that's not realistic for me. I wasn't putting like the dudes who are huge money, right? Oh, he got paid. But like Shaq Barrett, who was never realistic at all, to be honest with you. But like even like Pat P, like I wasn't talking about these dudes, although Pat P has some other things he has to work out. But I was talking about the big expensive dudes because you really can't pay them. You really can't pay those dudes for real. You got to look for quality, efficient talent that you can get a couple dudes for like $10, $12 million, and then you can make moves from there. If the Niners are looking to trade, maybe. Hold up. Yeah, Niners could be a good one. Niners could be a good one. That's only 4 spots. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Ron was looking to trade up. I wouldn't be surprised if Ron wasn't trying to trade up. We can go from 8 to 19. There's going to be really good O-linemen there. And think about how much more you get from dropping from 8 to 19th. If you're not getting a quarterback, it doesn't really matter, right? If you're not going for Farley or Pat or one of these top dudes like Slater, going from 8 to 19, you're gonna find some really good quality O-line talent there, and then you're gonna get a ton of picks. You can get at least 3 picks, I think, from Washington. Yeah, going down to 12 is good. I don't know if I really want to do that. You might get some value, but you get a ton of value going to 19, and you can still find a really good first round pick and come through with like maybe like 2 firsts and a 4th. But yeah, that's something that I heard Matt Rhule say in his presser. He said there's no need to go first round tight end just because a lot of the tight ends that are good are day 2, day 3 dudes. Like, you don't have to go in the first round and pick up GOAT tight ends, right? You don't need to pick up GOAT tight ends because you see some very solid effort out of dudes. You don't have to get the Kittles. You don't have to get we don't have to get the top line dude. Like I like Kyle Pitts too, but tight end isn't even near the top of our priority. Tight end isn't even at the middle of our priorities. I'm thinking I'd rather get 2 players on the O line, a corner, a free safety, and maybe an interior D lineman before I go tight end in the first. That's why I want to trade down also, because you can get more picks and you have more options. But I wouldn't mind a tight end in like the 3rd or something. I wouldn't mind a tight end just go 6th for a tight end. I don't think tight end was a problem. I think tight end is a problem, but you already have Ian Thomas on contract. You already have Chris Manhurst, who's not going to catch passes anyway. But I think play calling, or at least, target priority was a problem. It's hard to call a dude a problem when he only gets 20 targets in 16 games. It's hard to call a dude a problem when he gets a total of 20 targets and 1 drop in 16 games. I don't know. Well, mostly because we already have tight end and linebacker coaches, Brick, and also because just because dudes played for us doesn't mean they want to coach. Like, first of all, you said behind Kuechly. Luke isn't even a coach. Luke's a scout. He's not even the linebacker coach. I'm not sure these dudes even want to coach. Also, TD owns an indoor football team. I don't know if he even has the time to be a coach. Just because dudes played for us doesn't mean they have to be a coach. You feel me? Yeah. Just because dudes play for the team doesn't mean they have to be a coach. Doesn't mean they want to be a coach. Doesn't mean they even be a good coach. I don't think just because you're a great player means you be a great coach. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You feel me? If Trey Lance or Wilson is there, you take them. I don't know about that. Maybe Zack Wilson. Maybe. I'm not taking Trey Lance at 8. Yeah, I'm not taking Trey Lance at all at 8. And you'd have to convince me about Zack Wilson, but it would take zero convincing from me for you to get me to pick up Trey Lance. That's a bad nah. It's not a good. That's not a good idea. Not a great idea. It could hit. But he has, like I mentioned earlier, he has a bigger bust potential than any other quarterback in this draft taken in the first 2 rounds. Trey Lance has a huge bust potential. He has a very high ceiling. Trey Lance, he has one of the highest ceilings of any of these players. I think he may even have a higher ceiling than my man Trevor Lawrence. Maybe a higher ceiling. But he has a much lower floor. He has a much lower floor. He has a much lower floor than Mac Jones. He has a much lower floor than Mac Jones. So you could be getting a really great quarterback, or you could be getting a bust. And it's different than saying, a coin flip 50-50, where it's like, okay, you can get a good player or not a good player. Trey Lance has a lot of things to fix, and it's going to take more than 1 year to fix those problems. Yeah, McKinney's a good one. Wait for Kalen Newton. Doesn't he play at Howard now? Or he used to play at Howard? Where does he play? Oh, he went to. Oh yeah, he went. Oh duh, yeah. He went to Auburn. That's right. Yeah, I knew he used to play at Howard. Yeah, he's a good scout. Yeah, nothing wrong with being a good scout. I'm just saying that you don't have to be a coach. I feel like everybody who retires has to be a coach for the team. It's like, hey, this dude played this position. He'd be a coach right there. It's like we have dudes who get paid to be coaches. It's fine. They're doing their job. It's all good. It's all good. We be good coaches? No. Nah. I want to be a good coach. Because the second I backhand a player and he hits me back or he gives me a look, one of us gotta go to jail. I'm putting on the red polo. I'm like, what you trying to get into? Brian. Let me see what my hands do. And then I gotta what? I gotta sue the dude. I gotta sue one of our own players. I'm gonna be a coach. He punches me, knocks me out. I mean, I'll pretend to be knocked out. Honestly, I mean, he ain't nobody knocking me out. But I gotta pretend to be knocked out. Then I gotta go to court, be in court for like 6-7 months at a time, suing one of my own players. I gotta coach him on the weekends. I'm coaching this man on the weekends, suing him in court on the weekdays. We both hate each other. We're winning regardless, but I mean, we don't like each other. It's a bad situation. We wouldn't mesh right. We just wouldn't mesh right. It just wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be great. Hold on. If Sewell's there, I'm picking Sewell. Like, it don't matter. I've been consistent on this from the jump. If Sewell's there, I pick Sewell. I don't care what's going on. It could be Trey Lance, it could be Justin Fields, it could be Zack Wilson, and then Sewell all there at 8. You will see the pick is in 2.9 seconds. We're not conferring. We're not calling. We're not waiting for dudes to call in and say, "Hey, we got to trade for you. Hey, that number 8 pick, we'll give you our number 10, number 42, number 58, and 112." I'm saying I'm picking Penei Sewell. What you talking about? What you trying to get into? Stop it, huh? What you playing on my phone for? Who said I wanted to trade? it ain't gonna go down like that. So, I mean, I gotta get Penei Sewell. I gotta get Penei Sewell. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. First and third for more picks. I don't know if I trade our third. Maybe. I mean, it depends. It would depend. It would depend. But yeah, that's basically what our cap space situation is. We have like 30 million. We have like 30 million right now. 31 million right now. But you gotta save some money, right? You gotta save some money for your rookies. You gotta save some money for when you're going to the season. Yeah, Slater's hell. Yeah, Slater's hell. I'm reading this dude's name and I want to answer his question. Jesus. Well, no, because we're not going to get a quarterback in free agency. Why don't we get a quarterback in free agency and then pay him and Teddy Bridgewater? So first off, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I would go for an O lineman first. Yeah, I would. I would. All right, let me get this stuff off the screen. So you know, $4 million in rollover. We're at $31 million. You feel me? Get Joe McCoy to help the big man in the middle. Wasn't he hurt last year? Didn't he get hurt immediately? Didn't he get hurt his very first day on the job? I don't know about all that. Me. I was locking distraction we got rid of. Because the Moten tag? No. This factors it in. You see, this factors in the $13.7 million of Taylor Moten. So it's already in there. That's already in there. Factoring that in, factoring in the cap hit and the dead cap and whatnot from Trey Boston getting cut, it already factored in the Christian McCaffrey and Shaq Thompson, their restructured deals. It factored all in already. It's all this stuff is up to date. I don't know. Does it show the? Oh, it doesn't show. All right. Well, it doesn't show what like the last time it was updated, but you can see on the. Maybe you can't see actually. Hold up. Maybe y'all can't see. But you can see on this thing. You see, Christian McCaffrey base salary is $900,000. Like, why are these dudes getting paid $1 million? Right. This is the signing bonus right here. So. The restructure's already in there. Taylor Moten's already in here for the $13 million. It's all in there. Now about this. How many of y'all already watched this? I was going to ask how many of y'all want to watch this, but I really don't care how many of y'all want to watch it. We're going to watch it regardless. Keep it real. Like, I took notes and everything, looking at this press conference. But then I didn't shoot the video. I kind of ran out of time. Actually, no. I had time to shoot the video, but it would have gone out like at 8 or 9 tonight, and I didn't want to do all that. Still, why didn't Teddy restructure his contract? I think you're mistaken about what a restructured contract is. A restructured contract isn't a player giving up money. That's not what it is. When a player restructures their contract, or when a team asks a player to restructure their deal, what's happening is the player gets less money, or the player's salary is less money, but all that money gets converted to a signing bonus, right? So the player doesn't get less money. If you're asking Teddy to restructure his deal, he's not getting any less money. He's not getting any less money at all. But the money that the difference between the money that went to the signing bonus is now off your salary cap for this year, but it gets pushed to future years. So first, you don't want to do it with too many players because you're just pushing cap space down the line to make room for one single year. So you don't want to do Christian McCaffrey, Shaq Thompson, and Teddy Bridgewater, right? You're not trying to get all three of them all that cap space just to push all that cap space to next year when we're finally out from under Teddy's deal, right? You feel me? That's number one. Number two, you only do this with players that you trust in their production or that'll be on your team long term because it's a signing bonus. You can't take it back. You can't, like, if their play gets bad and they become unplayable, you can't, like, take back, you know, if they don't play on that day, they get benched or whatever, then you don't get that game check. Or if they're inactive, they don't get that game check. Or any number of situations. It's only for players you actually trust to be on the field or be on the team for a long period of time. So yeah, you wouldn't have Teddy. First of all, it wouldn't be Teddy's decision. Yeah, players don't decide to get their deals restructured, and I think that's a good way. It's a good thing for the teams to make it sound like it's the players doing their team a favor. They're not getting any less money. If you restructure your deal, you're not getting any less money. It's the opposite. You're getting that money sooner. You're getting all that money sooner as a signing bonus immediately instead of, you know, over each week of the season where you get paid every week for the games and whatnot. You feel me? So the players actually benefit. The players benefit from getting their deals restructured. They're not taking less money for the team at all. I think that's kind of one of the things that goes into like the cap and dealing with the contracts that gets kind of confusing when you hear about it. I think that answered the question. Yeah, we just got rid of McCoy. Or he was on a one-year deal. We didn't get rid of him. I mean, he was on a one-year deal, and the contract ended. It wasn't like we cut him or anything. Anyway, this is the Matt Rhule press conference where he says a lot of very, very interesting things about a couple of players. Talks about quarterback, tight end, drafting, free agency, all this stuff. Should Russ consider coming to Charlotte? I don't know if he should consider it, but I'm not sure I want Russell Wilson in Charlotte. I'm not going to lie to you.
Please let me know if you don't. I can get that for you.
I'm not going to cap or rap at you.
Guys, just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for Coach Rhule. With that said, I don't see any hands raised right now. So
can y'all hear this?
For the first question, the floor is open.
Hey, Matt, I'll just start. Good to see you. Will Kunkel here with Fox 46. Your first kind of full off-season with the team, how was it? Extremely, I assume, different.
Oh yeah, this is the other problem with Panthers live videos. Hold up, let me make sure y'all can see this real quick. Let me scroll down. Do y'all see this? Their live streams are unlisted. So that means unless you're on your, well, I guess on your phone too, you have to go through your, if you're gonna look at these videos again, if you want to watch the live streams of the press conferences again, you have to go through your history. You can't go on the Panthers YouTube channel and find the streams. Look at the uploads. You can just see all the uploads. You see clips of these dudes of Thomas and Greg doing their retirement speeches. You see some other stuff here. You see there's a lot of things here. You don't see, you go to playlists, there's no live streams. So I don't think there are. Yeah, there's no live streams, no press conferences, playlists here. So the second you leave, you can't find that again unless you go back to your history. So the live streams are unlisted. It makes it a little bit hard to find them again. At least on the Panthers site. On the Panthers YouTube channel.
The thing is obviously having no combine, right off the bat. We're going to enter the pro day season.
Go to Carolina Blitz for what? Why would I go there?
And so, in terms of free agents and things like that, everything's pretty much the same as it
Oh,
was last
I mean, I can get to it from here.
That's done, remote in-house.
I have this
I think
and the Thomas Davis and Greg Olsen retirement event.
As everyone tries to...
As long as you watch them, you're good.
Doing the Senior Bowl, I'd say, would be another major Senior Bowl is a tremendous opportunity for us, a tremendous advantage for us to get some real face time with our star players. So
We need a quarterback, not an O-line. Facts. Facts.
I know who they are.
And then we'll be needing a quarterback again
So there's a little bit more.
until we get an O-line.
Through to David Newton for the next question.
Wait, hold up. I didn't even let y'all listen to that. My fault, y'all. Well, the question was from Will Kunkel from Fox 46. He asked, how different will this offseason be? And Matt just said there's no combine. But since they coached at the Senior Bowl, then they had an advantage over some of the other coaching staffs in the league because they got to see some of these players. They didn't really see any quarterbacks. If you watch Senior Bowl, you know you ain't see a single quarterback. All right. If you watch the Senior Bowl, you know you did not watch a single quarterback do anything of note. Okay? Some of these quarterbacks actually hurt their draft stock. But he said that they were able to see some players and whatnot, but it's still going to be COVID and whatnot. You can barely hear? All right, cool. Hold up.
David, you need to unmute.
Oh, I see why.
Yourself.
I got you there. Unmute. Can you hear me now, Matt?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good to see you.
That
Wanted
straight?
to ask you, we hadn't talked to you since a lot of reports came out that you guys offered Teddy and some draft picks to Detroit for Matt Stafford, and there's some other rumors going around out there. What are you stand with Teddy, and what have your conversations with him been like? I know he's unfollowed you guys on social media, so where are things there?
Well, I'd just say this first. I'd say that this is the time of year where there's lots of rumors and speculation.
Hold up. If y'all didn't hear, that was David Newton, who's literally a troll, but I got love for David Newton. I actually do have love for David Newton a lot, actually. He said, basically, where do you stand with Teddy after you tried to, there was rumors you wanted to trade him for Matt Stafford and other pieces and whatnot.
I'd just say this first. I'd say that, this is the time. Well, I'd just
listen to the first part of what Matt Rhule says here. This is what makes you start to wonder, if you're a player or even a fan, listening to this, it's a little bit weird, right? It's a little bit weird when you think about what he's saying right now.
say this first. I'd say that, this is the time of year where there's lots of rumors and speculation, and not all of it's true. I'm out in the community. People say things to me, ask me questions. I heard this team called you. I heard, and not all of it's true. Some of it about it can be true, but sometimes it's not true. So, Teddy is a tremendous professional.
Okay. He said Teddy is a tremendous professional. So first off, when David Newton asked, okay, where do you stand with Teddy Bridgewater after you tried to trade him? There was rumors you wanted to trade him for Matt Stafford or maybe some other players around the league. And the first thing Matt Rhule said was, okay, what you got to understand is this time of the year, there's rumors flying around. You feel me? Some of them are true. Some of them are false. Don't believe everything you hear. Hey, girl, come on now. You know what they be saying about it. They know they hate you when you up, bro. They hate you when you up. There's a lot of rumors. Look, it's a whole lot of, hey, they be lying on my name, but yeah, I might have tried to trade him. Yeah, I might have, yeah, okay, I may have tried to, but maybe it was false though. But don't believe everything. Okay? Believe some of it, but don't believe, look, man, maybe I did try to trade him. What you gonna do? Okay, but maybe I didn't though. It could be true, and they be lying though. They do be lying sometimes. They do be lying.
And Teddy's a tremendous person, and so I think I can't speak for him. I think he's controlling what he can control, and he's having a great off season. I'm sure. I can't wait to get him back here, and I think he's determined to play his best football next year. As far as where he stands with us, I mean, he's our quarterback, and nothing's changed since the end of the off season. It's really not much to add from where we started, at the end of the year.
No, you're right.
We're going to continue to try to improve the roster at every position through free agency, through the draft, and we're going to continue to try to improve the roster at every position through we're going to continue to try to improve the roster at every position through free agency, through the draft, and also through development. We expect players to, play better this year than they played last year. We expect coaches to coach better this year. So through development, we expect players to, play better this year than they played last year. We expect coaches to coach better this year than they did last year. We expect players to, play better this year than they played last year. We expect coaches to coach better this year than they did last year. And that's at every position. So, Teddy's, like I said, he's a true professional. He didn't unfollow me. I think he's just at I wouldn't read too much into anything. I think, he's in a moment right now where he's just kind of controlling what he can control, focusing on himself, focusing on his family. And I know when he gets back here, he'll be ready to go.
Word. You got to listen to what this man be saying. So, yeah, like someone said, who said it? He has to say it. Yeah, so you're right. He has to say it. Like you got it. This is one of the things that you got to say. But that's the point, though. That's the point. When you listen to these press conferences, you got to listen to everything that gets said. It's like, yeah, there are things that do get said and whatnot, but specifically from what David Newton was talking about, it wasn't like a fake rumor. Like you broached the subject of it being like of there being fake rumors out there and things that aren't true to answer a question where the rumors were definitely true, right? I think no one's denying that Teddy Bridgewater was part of that offer for Matt Stafford, right? So actually, yeah. But so like you didn't have to add it. I mean, to answer the question straight up, you didn't have to add it because it wasn't relevant to that question. But you kind of have to say it as a coach just to like throw it out there like, hey, that's more to C-Mac. That's more to Christian. He's like, hey, look, Christian, we never had you. They were saying we trade you, bro, but we wasn't gonna trade you. We wasn't gonna trade you, Christian. We wasn't gonna. Hey, they were saying it though. Them boys were saying it, and those might have been some decent. The prospect of the trade on paper may have looked all right. I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, they was convincing in the articles. The writers, they was convincing in the articles, but we ain't did it though. Plus, it wasn't really a real thing, Christian. Don't believe these rumors, Christian. That's really what we're hearing from Matt Rhule here.
Let's go to Josh Klein for the next question.
Hey, Matt. Good to see you. Obviously, you guys offered put the franchise tag on Taylor Moton this week. How important is the offensive line in terms of your goals for both free agency and then the draft? And do you and Scott have a specific strategy in how you plan to fill out the offensive line in terms of splitting?
Wait, hold up. Josh Klein is talking about the O-line, but hold up. I just saw a tweet. Wait, there's fans? Wait, there's fans at Spectrum? Wait, what? Wait, I missed that news. There's fans at Spectrum? Hold up. Wait, I knew there was a game being played. Hold up. Damn, we're up 13 on the Pistons. Pistons are bad. They're ass, actually. The Pistons are actually horrible. Imagine living in Michigan, Detroit specifically, and having to root for the Pistons or the Lions. Just imagine you go from it's spring, it's fall. You're rooting for the Lions, and then it's winter time. You're not even done drying your tears, and you have to cheer for the Pistons for 82 games. Just imagine that while it's snowing outside relentlessly. You're cold as hell. Rooting for the Lions and the Pistons. That's tough.
Putting that between free agency and the draft.
Yeah, and I would just say the franchise tag. That's it. Spending $13.75
$3,000.
That's a major commitment, financial commitment by us in a year that's never happened before, where the salary cap went down. So that's how much we think about Taylor. I think Taylor Moton's a tremendous player and an even better person and he's exactly the type of player I want to coach. So sometimes, you just kind of hear like, hey, throw the tag on him. But it's a tremendous financial commitment we're making for 1 year. And hopefully Scott will work with them. Hopefully we can get a deal done and we can keep him here for a long time. But I just want to make sure I don't understate our commitment to him, in terms of wanting him to be here. That being said, we have a couple guys that are, due to hit free agency. We need to address the offensive line. I think when we have gone back and watched the tape, our ability to run the football, our ability to close games out, and our ability to protect the quarterback has to be better this year. And so, we're going to address it in free agency. We've already addressed it with Taylor, and hopefully we can, get some also address it in the draft. So it's a major point of emphasis for us, both depth-wise and replacing anybody that leaves.
Okay, so Josh Klein asked how important offensive line is for an NFL football team. He really asked how important it is for the team going into the free agency and the draft. But I mean, I guess you just want to get a quick little quote in from Rhule. Let's be honest. Josh Klein knew the answer to this question. O-line ain't very good. Plus, even the not good players are gone now. So it's like you got to find somewhere. You got to do something. You got to find someone to protect the quarterback. Even if it's Teddy right now, you got to find someone to protect him. So I mean, you got to just what? You got to say something. You got to get someone in there. And so Matt Rhule, you can see his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. He said, "I know I just have to answer this dumbass question about is O-line important? Yes, we're looking in free agency and the draft for O-linemen because we want people to block for the quarterback and to block for Christian McCaffrey. Yes, O-line is important. This is the face of a man who's been defeated. Season is not even coming up for 6 full months. Look at his face. He said, man, I got to answer this motherfucking question. I got to, yeah. O-line is important. Next question. Yeah, the offensive line. How important is the offensive line? Oh, how important is the offensive? That's a great question, my brother. That's the next question. Next question. I couldn't do it.
All right, let's go to Josh Graham for the next question, followed by Joe Person.
Yeah, big Bitcoins in the chat.
Josh, I think your microphone's not working. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can't hear you.
I feel bad.
Joe,
for
we'll go to
right
you.
now. Yeah, he's ass, honestly.
Hey, Matt, good to see you. In terms of quarterbacks, will you guys be at the pro days of the top quarterbacks? Will you continue to evaluate that position, which is something that Dave Tepper said, that indicated that you might, and will you look into these kind of other quarterbacks who may be available via trade?
I think we'll be at, different guys will be at different pro days. But I think, we'll because of where we're picking, we'll certainly check out quarterbacks in addition to other players as well. I think anybody that's, in the top 10 or 12, since we're picking 8th, I think we'll have a presence at their pro days. I think we'll have more of a presence this year at pro days than ever before because there is no combine. So, we had coaches out on the road yesterday. So yeah, we'll approach that, but really for every position, because this is sort of our one look at them. You're talking about drafting someone 8th who you've never met. I mean, that's never really been done before, and so we're going to try to get out as much as possible. And then just at, like, at every position, I think we'll always look at every opportunity. I think one of the things that Scott said when we interviewed him is, we want to be in on every deal, and I think one of the advantages to that is, A, we're always getting information, and B, other teams look at us. They can't say, oh, that's what they're going to do, because we're always looking at everything. When someone hits the market, we're always going to talk to them. So I think we'll look at everything this year. And again, this is a unique year. None of us really know what the market's going to be right now. We're all entering something that hasn't happened before.
Good question.
I think even the most experienced of personnel people in the league are all just kind of waiting to see where everything goes. So I think we're going to just kind of take it day by day.
I kind of forgot how long these answers were. I might just break it down when it gets to different points. But the question was about, it was Joe Person asking, will the team be at the top quarterbacks pro days? And I mean, that's a good question. You got to understand, like, are you going to be at Trevor Lawrence's pro day? I mean, are you really going to go to Trevor Lawrence's pro day? Who knows? But Matt Rhule just said he's going to have some kind of presence at all the top dudes, all the top quarterbacks pro days, because you're in a bad situation here because there's no combine, right? There's no combine. So you can't just find dudes, walking around the halls or in the elevator or have, your formal meetings with these dudes or have the interview process with the dudes. Or you see them once, right? You see them once at a pro day. And you can't go to all pro days. Like, it's going to be, I think he answers in a different question, but for the pro days, you can only send 3 representatives from your team. No, I think the max for every school is 3. But there's some schools that are sending they're only allowing 1 or 2. So for some For some of these schools, you can only send one rep to watch these dudes' pro days. So obviously Matt Rhule isn't going to meet. He's not going to every single pro day, right? There's some pro days going on at the same time, so you can't be everywhere. And is he going to be? Flying somewhere Monday, then flying somewhere Tuesday, flying somewhere 5 days straight? Probably not, right? Probably not. So he has to pick and choose which ones he goes to. He can have a presence at all of them, but since there's no combine and whatnot, you have 1 day to look at players. You don't really get to talk to him too much, and he may end up drafting a dude he's never even seen before. At least like not personally. You're a new sub? That's what's up. You've been sub for 2 years? That's what's up. I'm more interested in hockey. All this hockey talk going on in the chat. One thing I know about hockey is they do be skating. Hey, let me tell you about them boys. Hey, look, let me tell you something about them boys. Them boys over there, they be playing hockey, okay? Okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. Them boys do be playing hockey. And that's one thing about them. There's one thing about them. They do be playing hockey. Okay? So if there's anything I can say about hockey, I'm talking about we gotta talk about some hockey, okay? That really is it. That really is it. But yeah, you talk about it's gonna be weird, bro. It's gonna be really weird going to these pro days because it's way different in the combine. You like laser focused on a few dudes that are there. And he mentioned this in the next question, so I'm not going to go over that. I'll let him answer it, and I'll go over another detail about these pro days that makes it even harder for him to choose which ones to go to.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg for the next question.
Couple quick things. Matt, just following up on Joe's question, how will you kind of pick which days you personally attend?
This is the one.
I just sat down with the calendar. You know, there's a maximum of 3 people that can go to any one by the NFL rules, and some places are saying, hey, only 1, only 2. So, you know, just sort of picking, hey, you know, who do I want to go see? Who do I want to meet? And so, and then some of the bigger ones where there's, you know, a couple different prospects there makes it a little bit easier for me.
And then
right there. That's a good answer. Because like I said, he can't go to all of them, right? Like you're Matt Rhule. You're the head coach. You can't be at every single pro day going on. This pro day is going on every single day, right? Or just about every single day. So one is going to be about how many can go. If it's a pro day where only one person can go, then if it's not a dude who's like very high on your big board, you probably don't send Matt Rhule. But if it's one of those ones where it's like 4 or 5 dudes who you have your eyes on, like a bunch of dudes at one school who you have your eyes on, like 3 or 4 of them, like you could definitely probably choose that one as head coach. And especially if it's one of the schools that allows you to have 3 reps come there for the pro day, Matt Rhule, and then I guess the position coach, and then someone else there, a scout or whatever, and you can go there and watch several dudes do what they're doing at the pro day. But yeah, bro, I mean, when you can only go to 3, you can only send 3 max. Some schools only let you send 1 or 2, and then there's some schools that have like 1 dude you're looking at. Some schools there's like 5, 6, 7 dudes you're looking at, and then you have to look at your schedule in general. Like, have you gone and flown like 4 days straight? Can you go to this one? Do you have to say no to a different one that's earlier or later? Like, it's a whole different way of like strategizing when you're going to see players. When at the combine, it was a few days, and you're like, I mean, at the combine, you're there with everybody.
I was curious, have you spoken with Teddy personally? Because I know when we went right after the season ended, you had talked about how, you know, he needed to have a great off season. So I was kind of curious how you're keeping up with that, or, you know, what kind of communication you've had with him.
You know, we're in a dead period right now where, you know, I really can't talk football with anybody. So I'm observing those rules. And, I think one of the great things about having good veterans is that they're going to go do the thing. At the end of the year, you kind of talk about, hey, this is how we see it. But yeah, no, I have talked with Teddy. A, he's someone I like talking to, and B, he like I said, he's a true professional. So yeah, I have just talked to him just in terms of this life type stuff, and he's been really good.
So basically what they're saying is whether or not Matt Rhule has talked to any of these players, he kind of danced around the question there. Like, I don't know if you're not allowed to even speak to players, but, I mean, Elena just asked, have you talked to Teddy? And he said, it's a dead period where I can't talk football to these players. And I don't know if that was the question. I don't know if Elena asked, have you talked about, the quarterback play, the playbook, you feel me, any adjustments you can make with Teddy for this upcoming season and protection. I think she just asked whether or not you've talked to Teddy Bridgewater. That answer wasn't exactly an answer to her question. It sounds like he hasn't even really touched base with Teddy at all. Wouldn't be surprised if Teddy isn't answering calls at all right now. I mean, if I was Teddy, I would answer calls either. What are you talking about? I'm gone after this year regardless. What do we have to talk about right now? If I'm Teddy, what do me and you have to speak on? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
We'll go to Jonathan Alexander.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well. You all parted ways with Trey Boston this offseason. I was wondering what was the determining factor in that decision, and how might you all make up for that position this offseason?
And that's not, we haven't done that yet. We haven't formed him that we're going to at the start of the league year. Trey was a tremendous leader this year. He was someone that I thought was integral to helping, play with a lot of young players and kind of teach them what it meant to be a pro. I just think this year in this off season, there's a lot of tough decisions that have to be made, unfortunately that was one of them, and so that this is the part of the job I don't like, him. I mean, there's no player that I have more respect for than he and KK, but we've had to make some tough decisions. And so really it's just a matter of us looking at the roster, looking at, where we are in terms of salary cap vision moving forward and having to make tough decisions.
How might y'all, or where might y'all look to kind of fill where he played?
Well, I think we like the young group that's in there. We think that they can develop. We still have Burris. I think we like, Miles Hartsfield, Sam Franklin. Kenny Robinson's the guy we drafted last year. We thought had a good year as the year went on. And
y'all thought Kenny Robinson had a good year? He did at best all right. He did better than how he started at the end of the year, but Kenny Robinson had a decent year at best. Really a mediocre year, realistically. I'm gonna be real about that.
Jeremy Chin gives us some flexibility as well, moving back to safety or staying at linebacker. So I think between that group, we think there's some young talent there that we're going to have to get the most out of.
That was an interesting question because who was it? Jonathan Alexander asked, why y'all part ways with Trey Boston and what's the move for the replacement? Did y'all notice that when he asked about a free safety Trey Boston, the answer was a bunch of strong safeties. He talked about Justin Burris, talked about Sam Franklin. I like Jeremy Chin, but I don't want Jeremy Chin playing free safety. I'd rather just keep, if we're gonna move Jeremy Chin somewhere, I'd rather him play either outside linebacker or strong safety. Like, why move him to free safety? There's really no need to move him to free safety because he's not going to be in the box as often. You can have your free safety in the box, but that's not what you want to do very often. You just be better off having him play what he played his rookie season or play where he played in college. So why was his first three answers strong safeties? I mean, you're not going to put Justin Burris at free safety. You're not going to put Sam Franklin at free safety. Actually, I would say Sam Franklin could play outside linebacker or big nickel. I think Sam Franklin played all right. He played pretty good when he was in there for Justin Burris at strong safety. But I think he'd play a lot better as a big nickel or as an outside linebacker, honestly. Yeah, Junkie. If Julius Pepper was like 10 years younger, and we had a great O-line, and Olsen was 10 years younger, and a lot of other things. We could have made a lot of moves.
Jensen, followed by Darren Gant.
Hey, Matt, I know this was probably one of the two
Well,
least
San Fran
sexy
isn't a free safety,
positions
though.
on the team, that and the holder. But,
Hold on,
Matt, I know this was probably one of the two least sexy positions on the team, that and the holder. But the fact that you guys were able to secure J.J. Jensen, the longest tenured Panther who's been here through 3 coaching staffs, how important was that to get it done? And also, you know, one NFL coach said that this offseason was going to be, his direct quote was, a massacre for all the people and top veterans that are going to get let go because of the salary cap, and that it's a buyer's market. How active do you guys expect to be in the free agency aspect?
Well, first about JJ, you know, I don't know if it's official yet. So, but I mean, you know, we're expecting it to be official. And, you know, to me, the best way I can say it is I never, ever say to myself, I never worry about the snap on a kick or a punt. You know, he's just
my boy J.J. Jensen do be snapping the ball, though.
He's also a great guy to have in the locker room. He's a great guy, you know, to have in terms of within the special teams units. And so we're excited that, you know, he'll be back. You know, we don't have a tremendous amount of cap space. I know when sometimes you look at like websites and things like that, and they'll say you have a certain amount, you know.
Here it is. Here it is.
But, you know, you know, when you're picking 8th, you know, you're going to have a pretty big pool there, you know, that you have to allot for the rookies. So, you know, you take $10 million for your rookie, you take about $7 million to start the year for stuff that has to happen. So 8th, you know, you're a certain amount, you know.
Listen
but,
up.
you know, you know, when you're picking 8th, you know, you're going to have a pretty big pool there, you know, that you have to allot for the rookies. So, you know, you take $10 million for your rookie, you take about $7 million to start the year for stuff that has to happen during the year. So we don't have a ton of money. So I think we have to be the rookie. When you're picking 8th, you have a certain amount, you know. But, you know, you know, when you're picking 8th, you know, you're going to have a pretty big pool there, you know, that you have to allot for the rookies. So, you know, you take $10 million for your rookie, you take about $7 million to start the year for stuff that has to happen during the year. So we don't have a ton of money. So I think we have to be, especially with the decision to franchise Taylor, we have to be really targeted about what we're going to do. So, you know, I've heard things said like, hey, it's going to be a massacre. I don't think we've seen that yet. I think this week, you know, there's still a week, you know, 10 days till the 17th, whatever it is. So I think we're all just going to have to monitor kind of, you know, who becomes available. We're going to have to make tough decisions on our end, and then we're going to have to be really targeted in free agency to address areas. And as I said, you know, really if you look at our team, you know, there's some areas we feel like we have to target.
Wait, Beastie?
Via free agency or the draft.
Matt, going back to...
Hold up. Name one other Beastie DB group in the NFL. Just one.
Via team, you know, there's some areas we feel like we have to target via free agency or the draft.
Matt, going back to those conversations you said you had with Teddy, is there a little bit of psychology to that where you're almost counseling because it's such an awkward situation with all the stuff that's out there in the news?
No.
The dude just asked, he said, since you hear all this stuff, like there's all this news about Teddy might get traded and like, you know, won't be the quarterback of the team, and you know everyone in the front office is saying we don't trust Teddy. Teddy is not going to be the future. Teddy played horrible last year. He was dog water. He was bad at his job. Couldn't throw farther than 3 yards. We do not have 5 on it any longer. And he said, "Do you think there's going to be any counseling on your part for Teddy?" Matt's like, "Hold up, bro. Y'all tripping. What are y'all talking about? Counseling? That's a grown man. If you don't, Teddy better get over it. Teddy getting paid millions of dollars to play a children's game. Teddy is getting paid $20 million. That is 10 figures. Wait, hold up. That's 8 figures to play a children's game. He does not need counseling. This boy getting paid $20 million next year. I'm not holding his hand. I'm not holding his hand and giving him the Mississippi Cup. No, sir.
No, I'm not. You know, it's just honesty, and I mean, Teddy's a professional football player. You know, he knows the business just like all of our guys are. I mean, I think everyone understands the business and the business aspect of it. I want to coach. I don't want to be involved too much in the business aspect of it.
He knew what it was.
But no, I mean, Teddy's a true professional. There's not one part of me that feels like I have to talk to him in any way about stuff like that.
He's a big boy. He on the way out. He a big boy.
All right, let's go to Steve Reed, followed by Steve in Toronto.
Steve in Toronto.
Hey, Matt, two-part question. First of all, how much does the reduction in the salary cap, does it change your strategy this offseason? I know you guys have been probably obviously preparing for a reduction in the cap, and secondly, do you feel like there is any chance at all that you guys would be able to get Curtis Samuel re-signed given the salary cap restraint?
Lord have mercy.
We've been preparing for this, but I think, even going back to last offseason, decisions you've made like the last two off seasons as you set some of these contracts. I think everyone across the league did it thinking the salary cap would be 210 this year, 205, 210, something like that. So
yeah, so you see what's going on here when you're setting up these deals, when you're setting up and signing dudes on contracts and whatnot. You set these contracts up because you know that the cap room is going to go up every year, right? Like the cap's gone up every single year. So you set up these deals to where it's like, okay, you may get more money on the back end. So as years go on, you may get 15 this year, 18 this next year, and then 24 in year 3. But since the cap went down to 182, and he just said they all thought that the cap would be 210 this year. Sometimes with those deals, you're thinking about you're gonna have $30 million more on top of what you already have. So it's like, hold up, we really don't have as much flexibility. And you have, and as a team, like I mentioned before, as a team, you don't have just a 1-year plan. You have 5, maybe even 10-year plans for probably 5, honestly, 5-6-year plans for how you work the salary cap and how you're gonna structure these deals. Because it's not just thinking about, okay, this year we have this much money, so we can give you this much money per year. Different players come on and off of contracts on different years, so you have to have plans that go further in the future than just 1 or 2 years. And with the cap being down $30 million from what was expected, that's kind of tough.
Reduction from last year, but it's also a reduction for how you were planning. So, again, that's what's making people make really tough decisions.
What's Claire?
Claire? But we have known for a while, so we've had to plan accordingly. And then with regards to Curtis, I think we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, he's a tremendous player, and he's another guy. I think if you were to go back and listen to all the things I've said about him, I love Curtis, so I'd love to have him here. We'll see how it plays out.
Now, the second part of Dude's question was, what are your thoughts on how likely it is the team's able to re-sign Curtis Samuel? And Matt Rhule, look at his face. Hold up. Matt Rhule's face says it all. He said, yeah, well, we're going to have to see how that works out with Curtis, and we'll have to look at what's going on. Bro, you just heard him say that you have $31 million in cap space right now, right? 10 for your rookies, 7 to start your year. How are you going to pay Curtis Samuel? What's this dude thinking about? How are you going to sign? Are you going to re-sign Curtis Samuel? Do you think we're about to re-sign Curtis Samuel? Do you believe in your heart? Hold up, I'm in the wrong spot. Is that Claire? Jesus Christ, what's she doing? She's going crazy out there. Oh no. Claire, come here. Oh, she's going crazy out there. You're probably not going to be able to re-sign Curtis.
Coach, compared to some of your other skill positions, you guys didn't get a lot statistically out of the tight end position in 2020. Can you update where you guys stand with your current players in Ian Thomas, Chris Manhurst, and Colin Thompson, and whether or not tight end is going to be a priority for you with free agency and the draft in April?
Tight end priority, huh?
Chris, one thing I will say, we got a lot of production out of Chris, maybe not statistically, but we feel like he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the National Football League. We feel like his ability to block one-on-one in the run game and play action passing game allowed other people to have a lot of success. And so that's who he is, and he fills a tremendous role. Now he's a free agent, so we'll see how things go with Chris. Ian, he's under a contract. I think Ian got better and better and better as the year goes on. I think if we're able to have an off season, I think he will have tremendous growth heading into next year. I think Colin Thompson gave us a lot of versatility. last year, was able to kind of be a glue guy that did all the jobs, just really could fill in a lot of different roles for us. Yes, it's a position I think that we will look at in free agency and in the draft, especially with Chris being uncertain of what's going on with him. You go study the top tight ends, the top receiving tight ends in the National Football League, and guys who get taken in the first round, some of them work out, some don't. Some of the best tight ends are third round guys, fifth round guys. So
there it is. Hold up.
Tight ends in the National Football League, and guys who get taken in the first round, some of them work out, some don't. Some of the best tight ends are third round guys, fifth round guys. So it's something that you have to hit. You just have to find the right guy.
We got general manager.
We like the group that we have, but we will obviously continue to look at them.
Yeah, so right there, that was a question about tight ends, what you already have in the tight end room, and what the priority is for moving forward with maybe getting a tight end either in free agency or in the draft. And what you'll notice is the way that Matt Rhule answers questions about players and position groups that he's trying to actively look for more players at. He'll say things like we're always trying to improve at every position, and we're always trying to look for more players to always get better. But we wouldn't be we would be open to exploring all options. And this question, he said, look, we like Chris Manhertz already. Chris Manhertz was good at blocking, and everyone knows Chris Manhertz is a very good blocker. I don't think there's even a question at all about whether or not Chris Manhertz was a good blocker, right? I don't think anyone has a question about whether or not Chris Manhertz could block. He didn't mention Ian Thomas's his targets, but Ian got targeted 20 times, only 20 times, and had only one drop on the year. I feel like the narrative around Ian Thomas is that he has a problem dropping passes. The dude had one drop in this season and only got thrown to 20 times. So I feel like maybe, not 20 receptions. It was 20 total targets. So I don't know. I feel like Matt Rhule understands what's going on with Ian. What was his name? Colin Thompson. He had a touchdown that one game. I forgot what game it was, but it was like early in the year. I'm pretty sure, like before week 6. But you got to understand that the lack of tight end production, I wouldn't say is because of lack of tight end talent. Now, I wouldn't be so mad if we got like a dude like Jonnu Smith or like someone to come in on a 1-year deal. And then maybe even get McKitty. But like, I don't know if I would do all of that because I feel like you already have, like he said, you already have Ian Thomas under contract. You like what you're already getting out of Chris Manhertz. Are you really going to keep 3 tight ends on the roster if you go for like McKitty or you trade for a dude? So, and then Colin Thompson, that's a give or take for me. But yeah, I feel like he answered the question right. I feel like you have to understand that, first of all, in his previous question about tight ends, he said you can find a lot of really good tight ends day 2, day 3. You don't need to go after the GOAT. Like if your biggest problem on your team is tight end, then go for it. If you have a top 3 problem on your team is tight end production, then go for it. Get Kyle Pitts. But this is a team that does not need Kyle Pitts. This is a team that needs protection. It needs a secondary. Okay? Needs a secondary. If we extend Robbie and lower his cap price for this year, I think we can get Kirko for 8 this year and average 10 over 3 years. It's not going to happen. First of all, that wouldn't happen. Second of all, that doesn't make any sense. Curtis is going to get paid. Why would Curtis do that? Wait, why would Curtis sign for 8 and then average 10 for the next 3 years? He can get paid a lot more somewhere else. I think you might be undervaluing what Curtis Samuel could be making on other teams that are ready to win sooner than we will be. You feel me? It's not about what we can offer him. It's about what Curtis is going to take because he's a free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent. So he could just walk away, and we can't franchise tag him, even though it'd be bad to do that. It'd be stupid to franchise tag Curtis Samuel. But still, at best, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. My guy, why would you do all that to keep, at best, your 4th receiving option? Do you think Curtis Samuel's going to get more targets than Robbie, DJ, or Christian McCaffrey? I think all three of those dudes get more attention than Kurtco this year. I'm not trying to break my back to. I mean, I don't know how extend Robbie and lower his cap price. I mean, I don't know why you do that either. Just you're making all these moves just to keep our fourth receiving option on the team for this year when we don't have a quarterback, and our best option at quarterback, what it seems like it's going to be, is a guy who's going to take 2 years to become a decent quarterback. I don't know, bro. I don't know if I do all of that to hope that Curtis Samuel stays on the Panthers. I think that Curtis Samuel can get a 1-year deal for $8 million on a very good team that's a contender. Like, if I'm Curtis Samuel, I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm Kurtco and the Panthers offer me an $8 million contract that I get $8 million this year and then average 10 for the next several, or I can get a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, a 1-year deal with the Bills, why would I ever sign a deal that averages $10 million over 3 years? That would never happen. I would never do that. Bro, I would never do that.
Go to Vincent Richardson, followed by Josh Klein.
Hey, Matt. With the release of Stephen Weatherly and KK, as well as FA still being...
You can already tell from this dude's accent, he's gonna mention Stephen Weatherly and KK. But you can tell from this guy's accent, he literally only asked this question with F.A. Obata in mind. This question was really, it's a good question. It's a good question, and it doesn't specifically have to do with F.A. Obata, but he's only asking it to get some insight on whether or not the team's going to bring F.A. back, and Matt Rhule doesn't give it to him.
Unsigned at this point. You have quite a lot of flexibility. Hey, Matt. With the release of Stephen Weatherly and KK, as well as FA still being unsigned at this point, you have quite a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can do with the defensive line. Is there, well, obviously, I understand that you sort of routine, you want to be versatile and multiple. Is there any expectation that you'll do anything vastly different in terms of 3-4 versus 4-3 compared to what you did last year?
I mean, last year, if you go back and look at it, I think we were 4 down to 3 down. There were some games where we were 50-50, I think we would probably, probably stay in that mold because of the versatility of a guy like Burns. So there's some guys that have left. There's some guys we have to address at that position through free agency and the draft. But I think we have some real building blocks in terms of a total scheme change. No, I think we'll continue to use Burns the way we did. We'll continue to use Derek Brown the way we did, and just look to supplement those guys.
So yeah, the question was, with KK, Stephen Weatherly, and F.A. Obata not being signed, being a free agent right now, how you have a lot more flexibility with your scheme on defense, or at least your alignments on defense, whether it's going to be 3 down or 4 down, and will you see a scheme change? First of all, let's be honest. This dude, what's his name again? What's his name? And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Vincent Richardson. He asked this question like KK or Stephen Weatherly did anything all year. It's like, okay, Matt Rhule, coach, sir, those 2 players who did literally nothing this year? KK Short and Stephen Weatherly, 2 dudes who was better off never having them being on the team this season. 2 dudes who had no impact on the season at all, or at least winning. Now that those 2 guys are gone, what are your thoughts on the defense as a whole? It's like, bro, who cares about them being gone? I'm not going to lie to you. They're gone? Oh, shit. I thought I was stuck with them for another year or 2. I thought I was stuck. I thought they was going to stay. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the deal was. The boys had to get up out of here. We had to get them boy up out of there. But, yeah, I do agree that I think F.A. will probably be able to come back on a team-friendly deal. Although, he's looked better. He's looked a lot better over the years. He's gotten consistently better. I wonder what his market value is. He might have some good market value. We'll see, though. This is almost over. There's some
Go
bad
ahead, Josh.
questions here too. I'm going to skip those.
Matt, obviously with the 8th pick, quarterback is certainly somebody that's going to be in play.
This is
with Teddy.
This is a really stupid question, but he asks a second one, I think. Wait, no, this is the stupid one. This is a stupid question, but it gives a really good quote from Matt Rhule that I'm going to do a video on tomorrow.
Already being on the roster, having a pretty big cap hit in general from a salary perspective. How would you picture, if in a hypothetical you guys did go with quarterback early, how would you picture Teddy handling that and then interacting with a young quarterback? I think he actually talked about a little bit at the end of last season how he would do in that situation.
Okay, so the question was, hypothetically, if y'all went ahead and drafted a quarterback early, hypothetically, how do you think Teddy Bridgewater would react and interact with that quarterback? By the way, I am already fully aware of what Teddy Bridgewater said on this exact topic and this exact question I'm asking you right now. So why am I asking it to you? Who knows? Like, what do you... I already know what Teddy said he would do, but what do you think Teddy would do in this situation, Matt Rhule? What are your thoughts on how Teddy would react? I mean, he mentioned it himself already. I mean, I have the information. I already know what he would do. I'm actually 100% crystal clear on Teddy's feelings on the matter. I want to know what your feelings are about what you believe Teddy's feelings would be in this hypothetical, which is already such a flawed leading question. Like, it's a bad question. It's a horrible question. It's a stupid question regardless.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do hypotheticals. I try not to. I just try to deal with what's there. Again, I have, no matter what we to throw at Teddy, there's not a better guy on this team than Teddy Bridgewater. So I think no matter what we to throw at Teddy, there's not a better guy on this team than Teddy Bridgewater. So
there it is. I can stop the question right there. That's all you have to hear. There's not a better quarterback on the team than Teddy Bridgewater. Now, I know there might be some P.J. Walker truthers in the chat right now. It was a whole lot of P.J. Walker truthers during the season. I was hearing some P.J. Walker truthers talking about something about P.J. Walker. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk to y'all too disrespectful, but I'm going to let y'all know that I ain't forget y'all was in love with P.J. Walker. I'm not gonna let y'all forget that a guy y'all said had never had a shot. This is his first shot at getting a chance to play in the NFL. After he was spent 3 years on the Colts practice squad, He had different preseasons where he got outplayed by Scott Tolzien. You don't even know who Scott Tolzien is. That's how bad it is. He is now a coach for the Cowboys. Scott Tolzien was horrible. P.J. Walker got outplayed by him in the preseason. P.J. Walker and Scott Tolzien made the team based off his preseason play. It wasn't like he got beat out. He played worse than Scott, and Scott got cut as well. Scott Tolzien was one of the backups. And then Chad Kelly, Mr. Irrelevant, the very last pick of, 2018 or 19? 2018, right? 2018 draft, I think. The dude who called himself Swag Kelly. The literal last pick. He got outplayed by Chad Kelly. And Chad Kelly made the team over P.J. Walker. He had to beat Scott Tolzien, a guy who is now a coach, an assistant coach for the Cowboys. And Chad Kelly, who no one ever respected, even before he went to the NFL. Even before he was the last pick in the NFL draft. He couldn't outplay those dudes? And he never got a shot? And y'all know that Andrew Luck had to tell his dad to sign P.J. Walker for the XFL? Y'all know that Andrew Luck had to convince P.J. Walker to go play in the XFL? Andrew Luck said, "Hey, bro, you not making it. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You ain't making this squad. I saw you lose out to Scott Tolzien and Chad Kelly. Hey, bro, go to XFL, bro. You go. My dad runs. My father runs the league, sir. My father runs the league. I can get you a job in the XFL, bro. But I don't. Hey, this whole Colts thing. We got a standard. the standard is at least better than Scott Tolzien and Chad Kelly. And that's not you right now, my brother. That's just not you right now. Hey, my father owns the XFL. I can get you on a team, bro. I can get you on a team, I guess. I mean, go, sheesh. That boy said, sheesh. You got to beat out Scott Tolzien or Chad Kelly. One or the other. You can't do either? That's tough. That is tough. That boy Andrew Luck said, sheesh. What's going on with you, boy? What's going on? I mean, what's going on? PJ's better than Teddy. Get real. Okay. So Matt Rhule's line, why wouldn't Matt Rhule play PJ Walker then? I mean, it doesn't matter. You can just go ahead and play PJ. If they're getting better, yeah, I agree with that. Bro, PJ Walker is not better than Teddy. Sheesh. Teddy's problem is just the end of the fourth quarter and some clock management. PJ Walker's problem is literally everything.
So I think, I have no concerns about anything character-wise with him at all, at one bit.
Oh, yeah.
With anything
he
that
talks
happens.
about
like I said,
character
me,
and whatnot. Talking about winning the sportsmanship
he's a guy that
award
wants to play his
or
best
whatever.
football next year,
Who
and
cares
he's
about
training
that?
to do so. I think no matter what, there's, he won the award this year for, was it a sportsmanship award or
Wait, it's a 1-point
that's
game.
How people think of
going
it.
to the fourth.
So,
the Hornets are down
there's
or
not
up
a better
one.
person in the locker room. There's not a better person
The
to have on the
Pistons?
team. I think most of the guys would say that. So,
Chapel Hill shooting 25%
there's no
from the
concern
floor.
there, no matter what,
and
no
has
matter what's
zero
thrown at Teddy
offensive
Bridgewater,
boards
he's,
so
he's going
far.
to take it on just like he took on his knee injury.
I like to see that after they
He's
cheated.
a quality person.
Bro, they cheated
Let's
us
go
out
to
of
David Newton
our
and then Joe Person.
our tournament berth.
Yeah, Matt, you mentioned tight ends, the area you want to attack in free agent or look at in free agency and the draft. Any other specific areas that you can mention names that you feel like you're really going to have to address in free agency?
I mean this sincerely. I mean, I think we're a year out from a real big turnover. So I think there's we're trying to probably look a lot of different places, to be quite honest. I think, really, the offensive line, because we have a lot of guys that are free agents. And I think, looking at corner, I think those are two areas where, because we have some guys who are up, we have to really evaluate. We've evaluated our current guys and then looking at who else is out there on the market. But, we're going to look at linebacker, we're going to look at the D-line. We're going to kind of look everywhere. So I think we're in a situation right now where we're not, just one player away. We're trying to do a really good job of continuing to build the nucleus of the team. Obviously the situation this year is a little hard with our cap number. So again, that's why I think we have to be targeted. But, I think as I said earlier, I think we will play better a lot of different positions if we can get off the field on third down, if we can, protect up front, run the ball better. I think there's some areas, offensive line, corner, et cetera, that are specific for us to address.
You want to follow up?
Nah, I gotta hold up. Greer was a project. The team, the front office, Ron Rivera, everyone, including Dave, they ruined that project before it got started. Will Greer was a project that could have been good. Let's not forget. Will Greer played better than Trey Lance did in college. Will Greer was way better than Trey Lance. Let's be real about that. And you saw how he looked. But he wasn't a top pick. But Will Greer was another project. A dude who could have been very, very good, given the time to grow in the NFL, given the time to sit back and learn the game in the NFL. Got put in too early. On the week after his head coach and OC got fired. Was not ready. The next week he gets hurt. So let's understand that there are some project quarterbacks, I think, and no one's going to tell you that Trey Lance isn't a project quarterback, because Trey Lance he's a high ceiling quarterback, but he's definitely a project. Definitely a project.
Ask you a lot of questions, obviously, about Teddy. In the college level where you had the quarterback battles and all that, it was different than here in the pros. How tough is it to manage the egos in that area? And I'm not saying Teddy's got a big ego, but most quarterbacks do. So how tough is that to manage that, to make sure you don't lose a player, kind of like, the Texans apparently have lost Deshaun Watson.
I guess he got put into the perfect situation. Yeah, Will Greer got put into a good situation, and he just failed to execute. that good situation. I remember how good that O-line was. I remember how good the coaching was. I remember how he had stability. I remember how. Wait a second, wasn't he learning? Don't you think that young quarterbacks need mentorship in the NFL, or should rookie quarterbacks be okay with no mentorship? I think we all agree that Will Grier that young quarterbacks need mentorship to learn the sport of football. Too bad he didn't have an actual veteran in the locker room with him, because Cam Newton got injured week 2, right? Didn't play week 3. Cam Newton wasn't in the locker room. He was learning the game of football by watching Kyle Allen, a quarterback, a veteran quarterback I'm sure you have a lot of respect for. And who cares about him getting his very first start the week after his head coach and OC both got fired, behind a very good O-line that you like and you respected and you thought had good protection? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't watch football, so I'm taking your word for it. I'm taking your word for it that Will Grier got put in a very good situation where he was set up to succeed. Will Grier was not set up to fail. He was set up to succeed based off of what my man Statistic Junkie is talking about right now.
I think every person is different. I think every player is different. I think the key thing is to be as honest as you can, with everything that's happening. And there's not really any guys on this team that I worry about those types of things about. I think we have high character guys, high quality guys on this roster. So I think we've tried to just be honest with guys, be straight up with guys. And I think for most guys have appreciated it.
Matt, with Trey Boston moving on, will that mean Jeremy Chinn moves to safety?
Just what I said before, I think it gives us that flexibility. I think we think of Jeremy as sort of like a chess piece, a guy you can move around, So he was more of a linebacker that would go back and play safety that last year. I think as we get through this offseason, we'll decide, is he a safety that can move up, or is he a linebacker that can move back? But he is someone that he's the type of player we think, hey, you want to build around. So we'll see what happens to us in free agency and the draft, and then just kind of put him in the right position once April comes around.
And then you mentioned the cap restraints. Relatively, though, or looking across the league, you guys are in pretty good shape. Given that there'll be a lot of tough decisions across the league, do you think that you guys could end up, I don't want to say like bargain basement guys, but be in play for some guys that in a normal year you might not?
I don't know. I think we're just kind of looking at ourselves as opposed to, as opposed to everyone else. I mean, we've had some guys have helped us out. We've had a couple, Christian and Shaq, just restructured their contracts to give us a little more flexibility.
This dude just casually breaks that news right here.
We don't have a ton of money, but we have, some that at least, that we're able to go out and look at the right position.
Just answer the question that, answer the part of the question that is new information. What he brings up here is talking about the cap and talking about the restructure. We mentioned both those things already. I have a video on the restructure, and I talked about the cap space and that situation earlier on in this stream. So the first part was Joe Person talking about, since Trey's gone, is Jeremy Chinn can move to safety, and that the cap looks favorable compared to the league, which is true. But and Matt Rhule just says, look, man, we don't know, honestly, which is a good thing to do because it gives a little bit more mystery for other teams. They don't know, like, are you going to look for a linebacker? Are you looking for a safety? Like, if you're gonna move Jeremy Chinn to a safety, then that means you're looking for a linebacker, right? If you keep him at linebacker, then that means you're probably looking at a safety or maybe even two safeties in the draft and free agency, and you'll know what the priorities are based off what you go for in free agency. You know what they're gonna be looking for in the draft once they fill out those spots. So he just says, we don't know yet. We're gonna see. We have to look and see later on down the road. Is he a linebacker that we push up to safety sometimes, or is he a safety that we bring down sometimes? Near linebacker, he was kind of non-committal with the answer. I think the best spot for my man Jeremy Chinn would probably be to go to strong safety, and he can play high and he can play in the box. But the thing about being an outside linebacker is I feel like I would rather have a dude at outside, have a dude who's good in coverage. Have a dude who's good in coverage. I think that dudes I mean, there's plenty of guys who are strong in coverage, in this draft. But I want a dude who can. I want a guy who can cover the tight ends without like losing, without having to use a different position and having to match them on the field. So like dudes like maybe Jabril Cox or Dylan Moses in like the third round ish could be guys who can do that. But like Jeremy Chin, if there's one thing that he can't do, it's cover tight ends. We have no one on the team right now who can really stick with tight ends consistently. So I would kind of rather play strong safety than outside linebacker. But I'm not a coach, so that's what I would do though. That's what I would do.
But again, I think we're of the belief that you build through the draft, and we want to just supplement in free agency. And so we're going to need some veteran guys at some positions to come in and provide experience. So we're just working through that process right now. So hopefully we can make some really good decisions, and then hopefully as we move forward, the cap will go up, and we can sort of plan for where we're headed.
Guys, got time for 3 more, so let's go to Bridget Condon, followed by Jonathan Alexander, and finish with Elena Getzenberg.
Pretty sure this first question is
Hey, Coach,
horrible.
I just wanted to see if you had spoken with Christian this offseason and what those conversations have been like. Obviously, his name was thrown around, in some of these potential trades with high-profile players. That there wasn't a lot that, was factual in those. But do you have any fear that he would not return to his old form? And is that something you would consider possibly, trading him in potential for one of these high-profile quarterbacks?
Christian's our, he's our tailback.
So the question was from Bridget Condon, who has some good info. She's good at her job she's on Twitter too. But she said, were you ever worried that C-Mac wouldn't come back as himself, and were you looking to trade him for a quarterback? And okay, as a reporter who needs a story, I guess you asked the question, but Matt Rhule's face is getting more and more haunted by the question. Look at his face. He's like, "Hey, bro." He's like, "Hey, bro, what? What? You want me to tell you? What can I say here? If I say no, Christian McCaffrey being hurt for 13 of the 16 games made me question. Like a thought in the back of my mind said, maybe Christian McCaffrey won't come back as himself, and we got burned by this deal. So, in reaction to that, it is true all the rumors that you've heard about us potentially trying to maybe shop Christian McCaffrey to other teams to make deals for other players. Like, what's Matt Rhule gonna say to this question? What's he really gonna say? What's his response gonna be? The dude can only say one thing, and he says it.
And he's our, he's one of the fundamental pieces of this team. He's the guy that we're building around and we're committed to. So I expect him, after last year, I expect him to have a great year this year. That's how I feel about him in terms of talking with him. Again, observing the rules and all that, but I've seen him in the building. Talk to him just about life. He's been really upbeat and excited about this off season. So, nothing beyond that. I think,
he what he just said? What I didn't catch when I watched this the first couple times. He said that he's seen Christian McCaffrey in the building. They've talked, and he's felt like about life, and he's been really upbeat. And why wouldn't he be? He just bought a $80 billion mansion and whatnot. But it's like, okay, he's seen Christian McCaffrey in the building, and it seems like he's talked to him more than once. But earlier, when he was talking about whether or not he's spoken to Teddy, he said, what was the quote? I'll get the quote right. He said, oh man, where's the quote? When David Newton asked the second question of the interview, he said, Teddy is having a great offseason, I'm sure. Saying, if you add I'm sure, that means you don't know. Teddy Bridgewater is not in the building. He's not contacting you. You're not talking to the dude. Matt Rhule just said right here that he's seen Christian McCaffrey in the building and he's had conversations. But when he was asked about whether or not he's had contact with Teddy Bridgewater, his answer was, we're not allowed to talk about football, so we're in a dead period and we can't talk. That's why you have to listen to everything that gets said and the things that don't get said. Compare the things that get said to the times you hear things that aren't added to the back end of sentences or the back end of a phrase where it's like, have you talked to a guy? Oh yeah, I talked to a guy. He seemed pretty upbeat. See him in the building and he seemed like he's having a good time. We talked about life and whatnot. He was very open about that conversation he had with Christian McCaffrey, but when it came to Teddy Bridgewater, the answer to the question came a little bit different, right? So when you listen to these press conferences, there's a lot you can get from comparing how a dude answers one question. And Matt Rhule has a lot of very strong patterns in the way he answers questions. He has a lot of very noticeable patterns in the way he answers questions. So you have to be looking for those things while listening to the answer, because one question may not even be like, you think about a question about Teddy Bridgewater, a question about Christian McCaffrey aren't really related. But when you listen to the way he answers these questions, there are things you can notice about how he answers the questions and the way he answers the questions about players, depending on whether or not things that are said about them are true or not.
He knows, and I know that this is a time of year for rumors, right? For things to be said. When you're a great player, people are going to talk about you. Other teams are going to wish they had you, but he's a Panther, and we're lucky to have him.
Matt, you just kind of broke news a few minutes ago about the.
Oh yeah, let's
Christian
get this one.
Shaq.
This is I think Jonathan Alexander talking about the restructure news. Y'all know about that. The answer is, he doesn't give a real answer talking about numbers or anything. Let's skip this.
I know. Got hand.
You had a couple.
Here it is.
Go ahead, Elena.
Elena
Thanks,
Getzenberg.
Preston. Matt, I was curious, now that you've had a couple months working with Scott, just how that's going so far, and have there been any hurdles to get over, just how it's been going so far?
I think it's been great. The whole goal.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. This is I thought I said I was going to skip the bad questions, but I do want to mention that sometimes when you're listening and watching these things, sometimes it is better to stop listening. Sometimes it is better to just stop listening. Elena Getzenberg does a good job. I like her writing, like her reporting, and usually she has decent questions. I think earlier she had a question. Oh, yeah. She followed up on Joe Person's question about pro days, and she asked, which pro days will Matt go to, and, specifically, and how will he choose? And she's the one who asked about has he spoken to Teddy personally, which those are both very good questions. And without that second question, we wouldn't know about how to look at how he answered the Christian McCaffrey question. But this one right here, how is working with Scott Fitterer, and how does it compare to working with Marty? What's Matt Rhule going to say? What's Matt Rhule going to say to that question? How is working with Scott Fitterer, and how does this compare to working with Marty? Hold up. Let me go back.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thanks, Preston. Matt, I was curious, now that you've had a couple months working with Scott, just how that's going so far, and
how is it going so far? Bad. What's Matt going to say? If Matt Rhule and Scotty Fitt have been arguing, not being in sync about what's going on, not having different ideas, different visions for how this team should move forward, do you think he's gonna say that? What makes you believe that Matt Rhule's gonna say, yeah, it's been, I don't know, we just don't see eye to eye. This man thinking about going full defense again. I'm trying to get some players on offense. The O line, he says the O line isn't important. I don't know what he be talking about, but sheesh, I don't like that man. I thought that man Marty was good. Y'all scapegoated Marty. I don't know what y'all problem is, but damn, I wish Marty was back here. What's Matt Rhule gonna say?
Have there been any hurdles to get over? Just how it's been going so far?
Hold up. Look at his face. Hold up. Look at his face. Bro, look at his. Hold up, bro. Hold up. Bro, look at this man's face. Bro, look at this man's face, bro. Look at this man's face. Look at this man's face. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Look at this man's face. Bro, he's sitting here like, I really got to be here I was really sitting down here for 30 minutes to listen to this boy. What's this? What you think I'm going? What you think I'm finna say to you? What you think I'm really about to say to you right now? What quote could I give you right now? What quote are you looking for? Please, I gotta know. Let me know what I can provide you that'll get you the most clicks. Like, what am I gonna say? What am I about to say to you? This man's face is like, hey, bro, I gotta get up out of here. He said 2 more questions. This the second to last question. This the last one. How many questions I got, bro? What's the word, bro? I can't be out. I can't be doing this no more. I can't. She said what?
And have there been any hurdles to get over? Just how it's been going so far?
I think it's been great. The whole goal for me was always to have somebody here that was, just a football guy. Not an ego guy, but a football guy. Scott's definitely a football guy. So
let that man smoke. We want to smoke. Let him
he
coach good. If he coach good,
he brings a lot of
little
knowledge of
something
players in the league.
In his free time, you feel me?
I would say that we have a very involved, hardworking coaching staff when it comes to personnel.
I'm not going to arrest this man.
And I think our scouting department has done a great job, at least pro free agency.
So is Claire, because it was a bad question.
I think Pat Stewart, Matt Allen, Rob Hanrahan, Luke Kuechly, those guys have done a great job of bringing lists forward to us of free agents. I think our coaches have done a great job. So I think we're working really well together. And, so I think it's going really well with Scott. I think obviously bringing Steve Drummond over to the football side was a game changer for us. And so I really like what's being set up.
I was curious, just like in relation to that, when you think back about like a year ago when you were working with Marty, how much has kind of your role, like, are you doing more? Are you more involved in stuff than you were last year, or is it about the same?
The same.
What's he going to say? Compared to Marty, was it better, worse? Are you doing more, less? There's just not a chance, bro. There's not a chance. There's a 0.00% chance that it's the exact same. What is this cat doing, bro? Claire, get down. Claire. No, that's what I'm saying. He has to say it. He has to say same. Like, you, what are you gonna, what do you think he's gonna say? Oh yeah. I mean, god damn. I couldn't stand Marty, bro. This is way better compared to Marty. Way better, bro. Elena, let me tell you, Elena, come on now. Like, between you and me, Elena, I couldn't stand Marty. Hey, first of all, Marty, that boy smelled bad. First of all, it was hard having a conversation with him. I couldn't talk to the man. I couldn't talk to Marty. I was holding my breath. Do you know how hard it is to have a conversation while you're holding your breath? You can't do it. You gotta breathe out to talk, and I have to breathe in all that stank. Elena, write that down. The dude gotta say the same. He has one answer. He has one chance to say to give an answer. That's the only one he could have said.
The same,
You were last year, or is it about the same?
The same. As you know, I had a great relationship with Marty. If I ever have a long drive, I still call him, just to check in on, see what he's up to. It's just a different, Scott has a different meeting, maybe structure, but, I think the way we have it set up is really good, where the coaches look at players and talk about how we would use them. The personnel guys evaluate the players and their traits, so it's a great kind of marriage.
Yeah.
But
she usually has
the biggest difference is last year at this time when we opened the board up.
But that one was
there was like 2 D linemen under contract. That question flopped so it was a scary board when you looked at it, just because so many guys were leaving. I think we're, I think we really hit the draft last year on some guys, and so I think we're way more stabilized. And from all the it's just it's this we did a good job last year. Marty did a good job of kind of getting us to this point. Now we've got to have another really great offseason, personnel-wise.
Marty did a really good job of getting us to this point. This is the one part of this press conference I need you to elaborate. I think he's been pretty clear for the most part, or at least I can get the information I need out of what he says. But when he says Marty's done a good job of getting us here to this point, which point? Explain what the point is. Keep pounding, go Buccaneers. I guess dude had to really cheat. Hey, dudes had to really cheat to get a ring, bro. That's disgusting to me. It's actually disgusting to me. Dudes had to really cheat. They stacked the deck. Dudes really called up KD, Harden, and Kyrie Irving just to get a ring, bro. Bro, dudes had to call up KD, Harden, and Kyrie for no reason. Dude, hey, an old man got his feelings hurt. An old man got his feelings hurt, and he had to run to Florida. Huh. Tough. That's tough.
And really in the three areas. And I want to make sure I don't understate it. Like, we have to be great in free agency. We have to be great in the draft, but we also have to be great player development. Some of our young guys have to step up. Our veterans have to play their best football, so that's the type of offseason. And hopefully we have a true offseason so we can help with that, as opposed to last year where guys were in their homes. So hopefully we'll have a great offseason and we can hit on all three areas. And I think player development, it starts with the players, and hopefully we can assist.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Coach, really
Lord have
appreciate the
mercy.
time.
Hey, man, I ain't going to lie to you. Those last couple questions were kind of bad, but I think those are the kind of questions you have to ask when you have someone, when you have like a, I guess when you're working for one of those big companies and you have to at least try, you got to at least shoot your shot to catch him slipping and giving you a good quote. But honestly, that was never going to work out. It was never going to work out. But yeah, so I mean, we learned a lot. I think we learned quite a bit from this presser. I think I'm still gonna do a video. I wanted to do a live stream just so I didn't want to lie to y'all. I think I told y'all in that video yesterday that I was gonna do a video today talking about the cap situation and the press conference. I think what I'm gonna do tomorrow or tonight probably, I'm gonna record the video just going over again the salary cap stuff, because I know people who are here for the live stream maybe gotten late, or people who don't watch the live streams at all, only watch the videos, you feel me, are also want to know about the stuff. Cause I think people aren't really talking about all the intricacies and like how a certain number isn't really a certain number. Like, not all that money is really available to us to spend right now at this very moment. Because you have to also sign other players later on, like in April and even, August. So, like, I'll do a video on that. Well, Claire, I mean, I don't know what she's doing. Probably about to knock something down. But do a video on that. Now, I'm probably going to combine the Matt Rhule video, breaking down some of the more important parts of Matt Rhule's press conference, and Scott Fitterer. I didn't do Scott Fitterer tonight because I have to do something. But I'm going to do Scott Fitterer and Matt Rhule, both those press conferences, and talk about those. And there's a lot more. I have to start on my player profile, my draft profiles. I've done all the research. I have all my notes and stuff down, but I haven't actually recorded those videos. And it's already the 11th, so we're probably going to get I might be spamming your what's it even called? The video box? I don't even know what it's called anymore. YouTube's so weird now. But I'm probably gonna have to start spamming, having it scheduled probably 2 a day, coming very, very soon. So yeah, those are gonna be getting annoying, because I'm not only gonna talk about players that I think we should draft. I'm gonna mention players that I know people are looking at, and I might say this is a good player, but I don't think we should draft him for this reason or that reason. You feel me? So those videos are coming soon. There's going to be most likely a lot of them. And maybe some free agent videos talking about specific players. But outside of that, probably going to get up out of here. The OG intro. I have 2 different intros. I have 2 different OG intros. Which one? My parents are essential workers? Oh. You're talking to a troll. You're talking to a troll right now, my brother. For free agency? Wait, for free agency? For free agency. I probably can't do that. Yeah, it would fuck up the continuity. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Are there any other Panthers content creators streaming? Oh, yeah, looks like Big Cat is. Yeah, looks like Big Cat just went live. Either before or just now. Who knows? Anyway, y'all go over there. Say what's up to him. And I'm about to be up out of here, man. Until tomorrow, when these videos come, man, keep pounding. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Cover your face. All that stuff, bro. And stay informed when it comes to this. Let me not say that. Make your own decisions when it comes to the vaccine and whatnot. But stay informed and all that kind of stuff. But above all, stay safe, man. All right, y'all. I'm out of here, man. Y'all be good. All that. All that. All that. All that. All that.